I'm from the
Same place as trap music, this that first react music. They can't hold me back, I'm feeling good cause I'm black music. Can't nobody touch this, my flow I can't rush this. Put them on silence when I'm talking, you should hush bitch. I am from the heavy base, my bro called a heavy case. Got a couple
Good evening and welcome back to another episode of Cigar Sundays Live, where we define, examine, and analyze words, phrases, and sayings used in American culture. And tonight, we will be smoking on the word attitude. So grab your thinking caps and get ready to smoke on words with two big nerds, with myself, Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV, and the God, Ali Dawood L at BK Soul Farm. And we are the Cigarden Panel. Peace, God. How you feeling?
Peace, God. I'm good, man. What you dealing with?
Man, I know I'm gonna have to get one of them shirts right there though, cause
hey, they'll be on the site
right
tonight.
there.
Hey,
I'm
I like
that. I'm liking that. Get that in the description.
BKSoulFarm.com. Hell yeah, I'm put that in the description. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm digging that. Well, you know, it's another Sunday, being thankful, always thankful that we see another day, do something positive and productive.
Hell yeah.
And tonight we got another great show lined up for y'all. Make sure that y'all like and share this video and also subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate it. We got some good links so you can get some of that good merch. You can get that. You can get what the guy got on right there. Look at that. That got the Adidas on. That's official tissue right there.
Tissue, you know what I'm saying? Like,
man,
it's real. Like, we don't fake it, right? Like, why get the fake if you can just go to the spot, get the same real joint and throw your joint on there and be like, yo, it's authentic and shine, right? Like, we talk about quality, go get the same quality.
Go get the same quality. That's right. And support your interests.
Support
your
interests. About? That's it.
Absolutely, God. Well, we got attitude tonight. Attitude. And for those of y'all that don't know or new to the show, we have a word that we smoking on, and we have three questions that we formulate a conversation around the word. And these are tonight's three questions around the word attitude. So our first question always is, what do you think of when you hear the word? And tonight it is, what do you think of when you hear the word attitude? Let us know in the comment section. Our second question of this evening will be, how can a person's attitude affect or influence their interactions with others? Let us know in the comment section what you think about that. And our third question of the evening will be, does one's cultural background shape their attitude? And let us know what y'all think about that. One of the things that we do is we define the word first. We define the word after we answer the first question. So we will go ahead and get into our first question of the evening with the guy Ali Dawood L at BK Soul Farm. What do you think of when you hear the word attitude, God?
Peace, God. Yo, so
Peace, God.
So what I think about when I first hear the word attitude, what I wrote down elevation, I wrote down distance, I wrote down the word profession, I wrote down the word relationships. Your attitude or a person's attitude can or will limit how far you can go or how far you will go in all aspects of your daily dealings, right? When it comes to your profession, if you have a terrible attitude, if you don't want to work, if you don't want to work there, if you don't like your coworkers, if you don't like your supervisor, if you don't like your uniform, if you don't like the bus you got to take to get to work, if you don't like whatever, if whatever it is that you don't like about your profession, if your attitude towards going to do that thing is negative, then more than likely your performance will reflect that, right? Like your performance will be maybe not necessarily negative, but lacking your best, right? Because you can do bare minimum, because 65 is passing, right? So you can get it. I think well, when I was in school, 65 was passing. You muted, God.
That was a D, right? That was a D.
I don't know. We had numbers back in my day.
Yeah,
I kept the number. You know, and so I think about that, right? I think about going into a brand new job, right? And how your attitude towards walking into a brand new job will affect your career there. I think about how your attitude at your previous job affected your role there and how it will contribute to your future. When it comes to relationships, it kind of all still the same exact thing, right? Like if you have a me only attitude, or I'm the only thing that exists attitude, or everything is here to satisfy me attitude, or my feelings are the feelings to feel, uh, your relationship might be strained, right? And you guys might need a lot of counseling, you know what I'm saying, or different partners.
yeah,
So that's why initially I thought about the words elevation and I thought about the words distance, because I think about how far you can go if you have a I don't want to say the right attitude, because I'm not sure what that is, but I do know that a positive attitude going into a situation is different than the right attitude, because you can not like a thing and still go into it positively. I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do this thing fast and quick so I can get out of here early so I can go chill. Whatever your positivity stems from, if you address your situation positively, then you have a better outcome, right? So that's what I think about. I think about limitations. I think about distance, elevation, especially when it comes to relationships and professions. When I think about attitudes, right? I mean, I know attitude is like so much, but initially those are my things I hone in on.
no doubt, no doubt. Um, and we think attitude is a lot. I don't know the definition of it, but
True.
but I know how we use it. Um, it is like there's so many different dynamics, so many different spaces where the attitude comes into play, uh, or is believed to come into play with how we conducting ourselves, our mindset, particularly when we say a positive or a negative attitude, you know. And that's where I think, like, we're gonna get into it.
Mhm.
But I think that we put that on it. We put the positive and we put the negative, maybe not sure of what an attitude is. So hopefully we can shed some light on that, you know, have some fun with it. So having fun with it, you know, first thing I think of is I'm a motherfucking nigga with an attitude. You know what I'm saying? Because like that was the first, I guess, introduction to it for me, other than being told those things about having a positive attitude and having
Mhm.
a negative attitude. So initially, like growing up, you know, it'll be like, you know, you got funky ass attitude. You need to fix it when things don't go your way. Um, you know, um, or that's the positive attitude. See, he has a positive attitude about things and blah blah blah. And, you know, but then it got turned into something else when NWA came out, and it was niggas with attitude. So it kind of made it go from a way you should conduct yourself to a way that you should to a thing that you should follow a pattern of based on this musical narrative, this entertainment narrative. But the entertainment narrative not being explained that it's entertainment, because you see so many people trying to act out the lyrics of the song, or trying to find themselves identity wise in the community, when now they trying to take on this new persona or this new idea of this music, of this attitude, of this nigga with an attitude. You know, when coming off that, like before that, we was trying to be, you know, brothers. It was like Poor Righteous Teachers rocking this funky joint, and Tribe Called Quest, and you know, we was trying to be more upstanding, more positive towards each other. So when I hit attitude now, with that experiences too, from working, going in the military, I do automatically identify with it's a mindset. It's a state of mind. It's how you are conducting yourself in that particular moment at that particular time. And like I said, I don't know if that's correct or not, but we're gonna find out tonight. We're gonna learn today. And that's what I think of when I hear it. I think of, you know, am I doing, just putting myself on it, am I doing the right thing at that moment? You know, is my attitude in line with something that's going to be productive, or is my attitude in line with something that's going to be non-productive, counterproductive? You know, and yeah, that's attitude.
That's tricky, because God, you said you went to NWA, right? And it's funny because when you were saying it, I was like, man, them niggas fucked us up. Like, we don't know what that word meant. And everybody did exactly what the hell you said. They projected on themselves what they thought it meant, and now I gotta walk around with this extra oomph and this extra, especially if I'm playing the song, or if I hear it, I want to recite the lyrics. I gotta recite the lyrics the exact same way, so don't nobody think I'm a sucker, right? Because I'm also a nigga with an attitude, no matter your complexion, right? Like everybody loved the songs, and everybody loved the music. Everybody went to the concerts and stuff like that, right? So everybody was trying to have an attitude, right? Whatever that was.
They sold records in Germany too.
Not everywhere, right? Like whatever that attitude was, and whatever it was meant to do, everybody wanted it.
Everybody wanted it, right? Everybody was trying to emulate that. That was the new hotness. That was the new thing to be. The fashion, the style, the lingo.
Yeah.
You know, it did. It did.
It didn't explain anything.
No, it didn't explain shit. Only the music. The music. Don't drink that wine. Coke would be better. It's easy to find. If that won't do, smoke a joint or two, but don't drink that wine. Look, now if I would have been paying attention in school, is like I still know that shit 30 some odd years later. You know, I'm trying to tell you, man, like that was the influence though. You know, that was the influence where it's like, damn, like how do we get this? And then you have older people who are encouraging you to, you know, not take that mindset, have a more positive attitude. Look at you know your surroundings. Look at like you don't have to be a street nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew plenty of guys that came from 2-parent households. They wasn't struggling for nothing, and they chose to be in the streets. They chose to hang out there too.
I know those guys too.
You know, so I don't always look at it like coming from that. Like, yeah, I had a, partial singing, single parent upbringing for a little bit, but I don't look at it as just like, the single parent upbringing kids were always the ones that, went
Yeah.
lean towards the bullshit. Cause a lot of dudes I know, a lot of cats I know, brothers I know had both of their parents in the household, and they was out there trying to, be the hardest, be the ones on the biggest bullshit. So they did like it was man. But that came down to what I'm thinking is like what we talk about tonight, attitude. Just adopting an attitude.
That's what I was gonna say, because you mentioned you talked about the positive attitude, and then you talked about the cats that had the 2-parent households that still went outside. I don't necessarily know, besides saying the words positive attitude, if it was even described to us what it is for real to have a positive attitude, right? Because those cats that was in a good household, they probably put on a good face, had good grades, and their moms and pops thought they was probably good, but they was outside doing the most. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I think their positive attitude got them through the day, so they can fake for these folks and get outside and do what they need to do with these cats, right? Like, I don't know. It's confusing for real.
Yeah, I seen some cats though. I seen some dudes. They was outside for real, and I knew, and it was just like damn. But then I had to realize, like, as children, once we no longer get punished anymore, like once punishing doesn't work, then you're just gonna find ways to be slicker at doing stuff.
Hmm.
And then when you get bold enough to be like, well, fuck it, I don't need to be here. I roll out and do my own shit. Then that's when it get real. That's when it's just like, okay, you either gonna go out there and you're gonna crash and burn, or
Yeah.
you're gonna come back and you're gonna be like, you know what?
I'm sorry. You
Yeah.
was right.
You know?
You said do my homework, take the trash out, and do the dishes. No doubt.
Right. And that's all I had to do.
In
What
the
was I
first
thinking?
place.
Right. That was
Had to
my
teach
only
you.
responsibilities, and I wanted to go be extra grown and shit, and I don't even know how to do that.
You just had to do
So
your homework, do the dishes, take the trash out.
yeah, that's what. Oh, you
Then you
fixed your attitude. You got your attitude together now, huh? You got your attitude together now, though. Ooh. You got a new attitude, huh?
It's like shit. That's funny.
All the part of growing up.
Nah, facts.
All a part of growing up. But let's bring up the definition
'Cause I'm
of.
curious now.
So we have attitude. We are smoking on the word attitude tonight, y'all. Attitude is a noun. And we are taking from the Merriam-Webster dictionary, merriam-webster.com. The link is in the description. Attitude, the arrangement of parts of a body or figure. Posture. That's the first thing they give us in attitude. The arrangement of parts of a body or figure. Posture.
That's body language, ain't it?
I mean, it said depicted her in a reclining attitude. So I've never heard anybody use
Attitude for posture. Wow.
like you look like you reclining if they're not sitting down
Yeah.
in a recliner. So this right here would automatically give it, why it may be confusing.
That's what I was thinking too, guys. I'm like,
Because then we have two, because that's the arrangement of parts of a body or figure. Posture.
posture.
Okay. So I mean, I don't know. Would it be like, is that an attitude? Is that an attitude?
But
Is
I think that would be an attitude. Like if we talking because if that is indicative of body language, then that means defend yourself because somebody about to punch you, right? Like that
and that's a
means
posture. That is a
that's
defensive posture.
it's a posture. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like
that's
so
a
it's
defensive posture.
so I can see that. I don't know about the recliner attitude part.
You know, or it could be a striking, or it could be a striking posture. You know, it could.
Either way, somebody either about to get hit or
Or you
not
getting out
get
the way of
or
something,
get out the way of something. Yeah.
right?
But
But
but looking at it, you wouldn't be standing there. If somebody did that to you in your face, you wouldn't be standing. You shouldn't be standing there, smiling at them, or not knowing what's about to happen next, or be surprised if they actually walked up to you and like you should. There should be some kind of mechanism in your brain that
I don't
says,
know. You could be like, I'm getting ready to knock your I'm getting ready to knock your ass out. You know what I'm saying? And you could be happy about it. You could be like, you know,
finally, I'm about to
yeah,
see if
like I
about to
used,
see if this chin work.
yeah, I used to talk shit and fight though. You know what I'm saying? So like that's
Yeah, but that's different though. But again, you knew you was gonna be in a fight, right? All I'm saying
yeah,
is
yeah,
what I'm thinking about posture and how can it apply to attitude. If somebody was to walk up to you with a fighting posture, your thoughts would go to either defend yourself, run away, or hopefully not freeze, because that's
yeah,
terrible.
yeah. Hopefully not free. Hopefully not freeze because you're gonna get hit.
Run or run into that motherfucker. Don't
Run,
freeze.
run. Weave and defend. You know, counter strike. For real, for real. So we got two, a position assumed for a specific purpose, and they have a threatening attitude. A position assumed for a specific purpose.
That's confusing too.
And that is hugely confusing because a position assumed for a specific purpose. What if you just taking a picture?
Assumed is my problem, right? Well, I don't know. Like even the whole sentence is a problem. Because if you're just taking a picture, all that stuff, all the pranks, like everything could, you don't know what the hell anything is.
Well, you know how in the military, when we relieve the watch, we assume the watch, right?
Correct.
So a position assumed for a specific purpose, I mean,
That's the attitude, assuming a watch.
you know, I mean, the way it's being,
Based on that definition, I can see that. Yeah.
you know, I mean, you are relieving the watch and then you're gonna have to stand that taunt watch,
Yeah.
you know, and your position is, you know, whatever you were relieving or whether it's a OD, JOD, watch captain, whatever the situation is, you know, watch standard, whatever it is, it's for a specific purpose, but it doesn't require a threatening attitude.
Mm-mm. A position assumed for. So had we not served in the military and had not stood watch, I would have not had a good reference for, for that sentence.
Yeah, but that's why we here. You know, Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV and the guy Ali Dawu L at BK Soul Farm, bringing y'all this with all this experience. You know, we got 80 years, over 80 years of life experience coming to y'all with this attitude, you know? So it's different perspectives. And most people have somebody that they know that served in the military.
True.
So they could check our bullshit, you know. Like we always say, we're not the gurus, but we have fun and we sharing our own personal experiences and we learning, you know. So that's a benefit to people from that example. Whoever doesn't know, ask somebody who stood a watch, ask somebody who's been in the military, and if that wasn't the way they wrote it down in the logbook, you know. So that's just standard protocol. You know, I think watches still being assumed.
Hell yeah. I
You
don't.
know,
I think that only applies for well, not only in the military, but specifically military. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cause
I
that,
know.
cause
I know
that
all
is,
them logbooks is assumed as
hell
I
yeah.
used to get confused because I used to be like, I thought assuming meant, you know,
You ain't know for real.
you ain't know for it, right? And I'm like, why are we assuming the watch? You know,
Oh man,
I did. I had to lie. I was just like, oh well.
I had the same thought process that Master at Arms said. Cause everything that happened before this watch, when you take it, is yours. You know about it, whether you know about it or not. You
There you
are
go.
you are prepared. You better read this log. Ain't no such thing if I come up there for a spot check.
Right. Ain't that the truth?
You better read the log.
So we
Right.
have 3 attitude, a ballet position similar to the arabesque,
Yeah.
in which the raised leg is bent at the knee. Okay, so attitude is a ballet position.
Which makes sense with posture being number one, right? I can see that. All ballet moves look like postures to me that signify something. I can see that.
So they all attitude. Then we have 4A, a mental position with regard to a fact or state, a helpful attitude. We have 4B, a feeling or emotion toward a fact or state, a negative attitude, an optimistic attitude. And we play with 4 for a minute because this is where we see it being used mostly. When we were
Yeah.
talking about earlier, this is the scope of most human activity when they relate to the word attitude. This is the thing that pops in people's head most of the time. Either a mental position regarding a fact or state, something going on, or a feeling or emotion toward a fact or state, where we get a negative or here optimistic being used as a positive. So those other things are where it's not being used that as much. Like this ballet position, a position assumed for a specific purpose, the arrangement of parts of the body or figure. Because when we look at this mental position, that correlates with what you were saying was if you were in
Yeah.
a posture with somebody about to hit you, or you feel like you need to defend yourself, or you're about to hit somebody, or you know, all of those things tie into the mental position or the feeling or the emotion towards the fact you about to get hit, or you defend yourself, or you're about to strike, or you know that feeling or emotion, whether it's negative, whether you positive, you're gonna open up a can, or the can get ready to get poured on you, you know.
not, not poured on.
Yeah.
That's a bad day.
Yeah, the can get cracked. And the ass whooping get poured. That's how it
That's
goes.
a bad day.
So we got 4A and 4B, and then we have here 5. The position of a craft, such as an aircraft or a spacecraft, determined by the relationship between its axis and the reference datum, such as the horizon or a particular star.
I can see that.
Okay. So that would be the attitude in relation to
That's like the
a,
ballet, super specific.
a geographic location.
Yeah, the way the ship facing, or the which way it would be heading, based on your last known position, which is the datum.
Okay, directional. Okay. So then we have 6, a bodily state of readiness to respond in a characteristic way to a stimulus, such as an object, concept, or situation.
Bodily state of readiness.
That's what we were talking about earlier, a bodily state of readiness to respond. Yep, to an object, concept, or situation. So then we have 7A, a negative or hostile state of mind, which is 7A. And then we have B, a cool, cocky, defiant, or arrogant manner. Now,
Hold on, God. Is there another? Is there another number?
there is no more numbers.
Does that say that attitude is a negative or a hostile state of mind?
It does. It does. But then it also says a cool, cocky, defiant, or arrogant manner. So what I don't get what this confuses more is how is cool like in this social paradigm, in this social structure that we live in,
I'm thinking they're using cool like the Fonz, cool, like he's against the grain, like he's not this part of the social norm, like he's the cool guy, like he smokes cigarettes and like I think that because I'm looking at cool, cocky, defiant. I don't see cool as in popular.
a good cool.
Yeah, I don't see it as a good cool. I see it as a like a negative, perceived negative. I don't want to say that the Fonz was negative, but he was a biker. Uh, hit on young underage girls, smoke cigarettes.
Oh man, that and you made him a pedo.
I ain't said it was. I ain't said it was. I ain't said it was babies. I was just. I think they was in June. They was in junior high school. High school. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
Don't make fun of the pedo.
It was the happy days. Son. It was the happy days.
Oh man, does that make it better? That doesn't make it better.
Oh man, like this negative or hostile state is blowing me, God. Like,
yeah,
I'm totally confused with this word now. I can see 4, right? And 4 is where we mostly use it at. 4A and 4B, right?
But 7A
But
is where it gets pushed on.
Yeah,
Is where it gets pushed on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's
So
where these sayings come up like.
I guess 4A is our feelings towards the thing, and 7 will be somebody else's feelings about us or how we feel about it, maybe. Because somebody else is saying that we cocky.
Or defiant or arrogant or too cool. You know. Like I've heard in the streets. I heard in the streets like all the cool niggas get killed. I heard somebody say that.
I heard that too. And those cool niggas wasn't good. They wasn't good guys.
Man, but I know some cool guys that was good guys. You know, they was good guys, but hate
is real.
Is real. You know what I'm saying? When somebody is like, "Oh, you cool," well, so you show people love, but because you get the girls and that dude can't get the girls, he want to kill you.
I think that's a different cool. I think that's different.
But nah, but you showing people love by doing illegal shit. You're not showing people love. You're not just showing people love because you know what I'm saying, like the way we show each other love. We ain't doing nothing illegal.
Facts.
You know, but in that space, you know, you could have, you know, a theoretical. You could be somebody who, you know, who don't be overcharging people for stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like if you dealing with illicit activity, you know, you may have good prices where you ain't trying to beat nobody in the head, and you may have somebody else who sell you some fake shit and then try to rob you, and then, you know, so like it's all types of fuckery be going on in the streets. But you could be a cool guy and really do good business, quote unquote. It's illegal, do good business, but then you have people who jealous of you because they think you arrogant or they think you cocky.
Correct.
Because of their own negative and hostile state of mind, of their own attitude.
They just got negative attitudes. They got harmful attitudes. right? They got pessimistic attitudes.
It's no optimism.
No,
It's no
uh,
optimism. So, that's a real thing in that space, but then I also could tie it into like being misinterpreted when we in a professional environment, like in a new environment. You go into a new environment and people think that, oh, he think he cool because, and I take this from the military too. I had somebody tell, oh, you think you cool, you know, and they were saying that I was arrogant and I wasn't doing anything negative. At least I didn't think I was doing anything negative, but I wouldn't kiss their ass.
facts.
You know, I wouldn't put them on a pedestal like everybody else was putting them on a pedestal. You know, like I seen that the only thing that person had going for them was the uniform. Like other than that, it's like, okay, I'm here. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do and respect the uniform because I'm here. I signed up to be here. I'm here. But let's say when we on liberty, right? Let's say when we on libo, and I go and I hang with that crew, that crowd of people, so I get to interact with you during some time outside of work. And outside of work, I see like you really a sucker, you know. So when we come back to work, I don't stop respecting your rank. I don't stop respecting you telling me to do stuff. But I guess now my attitude has changed because of my posture.
Instead of the clothes salute, he get the whatever salute.
you know, but but I'm not running and asking,
Correct.
hey, can you show me this? Can you show me that? I'm not looking up to you, you
Correct.
know, because because I've always looked past the uniform because I knew everybody had to put that shit on.
Yo, God, like I'm looking at this, right? And with the exception of one, two, three, and five, everything else is up to interpretation or downright negative. Like it got the words negative, right? Like they don't even have a. I was hoping for an 8, right? For a positive or a good state of mind, right? It seemed like attitude could only be negative. The way people see you, you walk into a room, everybody mad dog you, they checking for your attitude to see if you got a negative attitude or not, not realizing that all that negativity that they hoping that you got or don't got might show the fuck up. You know what I'm saying?
Or
Like
it's all them. They
it's
projecting.
that's what I'm saying. Like is they putting
Yeah,
it
they
on you, right?
projecting.
Like they making a situation is like damn.
Yeah.
And like they give you a choice to have a optimistic attitude, but negative is on top. That's interesting.
Yeah, and that's where we seen it used so many times where people say you need to fix your attitude, you know, like you got a fucked up attitude, or your attitude needs some improvement. Um, you know,
We
why's
need
your
to change our word.
huh?
We need to change our words. God damn, like that's not making sense now. Like because what are you telling a person to do exactly? Right? Based off of this. Like what are you telling them to do? Go fix your attitude. Like, okay.
Reverse the cool, reverse the cocky, reverse the arrogance, reverse the negative and hostile mind state.
I would have to know that that's what I got in the first place, right? Like you would have to have used those words to tell me what attitude I'm displaying that I would need to fix. But we so lazy. We just say fix your attitude,
Yeah, I mean, and in American culture, who does that?
communicate properly.
Yeah, who communicates properly? Nobody wants to sit down and take the time to
and,
explain some shit so that
and
way.
use all the words necessary.
Yeah, because a lot of times the people and we in a world of ADHD, right? It's ADHD now. So like the listener doesn't even want to listen. You know, the listener doesn't even shit. I had somebody tell me it don't matter what you say to me. I got my mind made up already about how I feel about you.
I
You know what
heard
I'm
that
saying?
before too, God. I'm like, man, you don't need to talk to me.
You know, and it's like it doesn't matter what I say to you.
You just already,
You know,
yeah.
it's like fuck you, go jump off a cliff, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's for real.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's how I look at it. Cause I'm just like, well, and it depends if I have a history with the person already. It's like, well, everything that was said before wasn't no value.
Correct.
Oh, when I was helping your ass though, you wanted to listen. When
All
I
day.
was helping you and you could take something from me, then it was fine. But
All day.
soon as I wouldn't allow you to use me how you want to use me, now anything that I gotta say is I don't want to hear it. I'm at you. Well, you ain't at war. I know that much
I'm all
because
of a
I
sudden
sleep
arrogant.
good.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I know that much. But fix your attitude.
I would never say that again, bro. That is so lazy.
Fix your attitude.
So-
Fix your attitude. You know, I mean, now we know what the definition of it is. I think that's a negative or hostile state of mind. For if you have like, and let's go to before we go to the thesaurus and look at the synonyms. If you have a relationship with somebody, and I don't care what it is, I don't care if it's a professional relationship or personal relationship. All right. If a negative or hostile state of mind is in the play, then there needs to be an attitude adjustment. Because in that space with an attitude based on this definition, based on number 7A, since everybody pick and choose, we be out here picking and choosing which one of these we gonna use for the shit anyway, right? Because everything got a meaning. So, and this is the one that people live on, this negative or hostile state of mind. That relationship is going to be unproductive and end. And like you said earlier, God, you said if there's something involved where you can't communicate, like you need to find somebody new to communicate, or you need to find somebody new to communicate with, or definitely in that communication with that person.
Facts.
It's just it's no other way around it, because the attitude is going to be there, and that's a negative or hostile state of mind.
That's a non-team player. All right. And the sentence below it says he was showing some attitude in practice today, so the coach benched him.
So the coach benched him.
A non-team player, like he wasn't. And to me, that means that he was out there trying to break the backboard, right? Trying to do everything, trying not passing the ball or whatever, right? Like trying to be a star. I don't imagine that person is out there fouling people. Right. I imagine they're out there ball hogging is what I imagine. They're out there, you know.
Using this example that they give.
Yeah.
Being a player that had an attitude in practice before and got benched.
Mm-hmm.
What I was doing was bringing the shit from off the court on the court.
Oh, like a real attitude.
Yeah.
You call somebody a bitch for real, you meant that shit.
Right. You know, when this is your teammate, yeah, and we practicing and we supposed to be working together.
Yeah, say the bitch for the game.
You know, so say that for the away team.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, don't do that. Don't do that with your brothers. Don't do that with your team members, with your players.
I got you.
You know, because y'all have the ability to be able to go into the locker room and talk that shit out.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all have the ability to come to the coach, any one of the coaches, and say, "Hey, coach, I need to talk to this other player." You have the ability, what's called mediation.
Yeah.
You know, if you got one person who fuck with both of you, then you can go and talk to that person to bridge the gap, if you desire it, if you value it. You know, for the team. But if it ain't no team, then you know, you gotta go play by yourself. Because the coach ain't gonna have it. It's gonna disrupt the team, the continuity of what the team's trying to do. It's gonna be counterproductive. And the coach gonna say, we don't want people on our team with that type of attitude. That's usually how that goes in a team environment. So we have attitude as in stance. And this is the only way that the source gives us attitude as a synonym, as in a stance, a
That's
general
right.
way of holding the body.
Back to the body again.
Had the ramrod straight attitude of a man who has spent all of his life in the military. And then we have similar words: stance, posture, carriage, behavior, poise, station, demeanor, seat, attention, presence, pose, conduct, body language, bearing, deportment, air, aspect, look, and mien.
Word. So all that negative and optimistic talk, they ain't got nothing for none of that. This just a way of holding the body.
General way of holding the body, as in stance. And I mean, and they give us all the rest of these, all of these mental things to, you know, all of these emotional things, but attitude seems like something that we could live without.
For real.
The world might be a better place
If we had less attitude,
if we had less attitudes.
Shit.
Because it's not giving anything other than the ballet position with the raised leg bent at the knee. The arabesque. You know, that's about it.
I guess the shit I was talking about, I guess I was talking about 4B stuff. Right? A positive attitude, a negative attitude, like as far as elevation and distance and how to approach things and you know and outcomes, like that's
I mean, that's what we're gonna deal with, God, because we know that this is where American culture is today. American
that's
culture,
all emotion.
yeah, is stuck on 4A, 4B, and 7A and 7B. You know, most of the people that we know, whoever watches this show is going to learn the same thing. Like, wow, this is a lot of body parts, positioning for specific purpose, left up to your own interpretation. This ballet position, only the people who actually took ballet
Yeah.
would know that was called attitude.
Yeah.
You know, the position of the aircraft, you know, unless somebody actually is a aviation expert or something like that, you know,
super specific, correct.
right. And then a bodily state of readiness to respond. Maybe a physician might be inclined to understand what this is: a bodily state of readiness to respond in a characteristic way to stimulus, you know, or a defense specialist that studies, you know,
Yeah.
hand-to-hand combat and things like that, you know, and that's somebody who studies the book side and the actual uh
Cause that doesn't say that you're mentally ready for the fight. That just says that your hands are in position for the fight.
and it could and it says a bodily state of readiness. So
Correct.
it doesn't even specifically uh contribute to your hands, or you know, you could be, you know, your weight could be right. You
Yeah.
know, you could be
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
right weight. You could be, your health could be right. You could be in right
Yeah.
conditioning. You
Today
know,
might just be a good day for a fight.
yeah. I mean, and when you say a bodily state of readiness, I mean, hey, you could be donning in PPE or FFE.
Yeah.
You know, or with for people that don't know, that's personal protective equipment or firefighting equipment. You know, and you ready to go into a situation. You know, a fire. You know, a concept, a training. You
Yeah.
know, um, it's so many different ways, bodily state of readiness to respond in a characteristic way, you know, to any type of stimulus. You know, shit, you could have an erect penis and be ready for intercourse.
Maybe when I was thinking about talking about profession, maybe that's number 6, right? Because you walking into that new job, that office environment, whether you like it or not, right? How you approach that thing depends.
But that's a bodily state though. That's not your
Yeah,
mental
that's
state.
not mental. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
a overweight person. Let me say that I'm gonna try and be kind. A person that may not be in the best of physical health could
Hmm.
still go in there to this, could show up to the new job. And if
Yeah,
they shirt and they ties together and they
they got the right
smelling
attitude.
good and they
Yeah,
clean, yeah, like they ready for it. They
they
ready to
ready.
respond.
They're ready to respond. Yeah,
So they give, so I mean, we can take this so many, you know, it's so many different ways to view this attitude, but we don't use it in that, you know, but we don't use it in that way. The
nope.
negative, the hostile state of mind, cool, cocky, defiant, arrogant, those are the things that it always gets. That's the what you
Yeah,
call like the scale that it always gets judged on. Your mental positioning with regard to fact, the state of feeling or emotion, because you know, like keeping with that same mindset, like going into a employment situation, you know, the person interview would be like, you know, they might tell the other person, I really like that. I like their attitude. They had a really good attitude.
mm,
You know, maybe working at a dispensary, they would call it energy. They had a really good energy about
fat. Got you. Yeah,
them,
energy.
you know.
Yeah,
You know,
energy.
energy, right? But it'll be different in corporate world because they
Yeah,
looking for these words, this attitude, you know, like
yeah,
get him up out of here. His attitude is horrible, you know. Customer service, it's always about attitude, you know. And it's these things, negative, hostile, talking to people, you know, communicating with people bad, emotionally traumatizing, mentally tiring.
yeah.
So that's what we're gonna focus on these right here, but we're not gonna forget these other things because this shit is all new. Never knew. I never knew. Attitude. Never knew the attitude
Now I
was
want to
so
go back and
damn
I want to go back
confusing.
and listen to that song and read the lyrics, right? Because she's saying, "I got a new attitude. I'm feeling good. I'm in control." Like, like I'm trying to think of the lyrics to that song to see what she was saying, because maybe she was using it right, and maybe her energy in singing the song confused us on
Ah,
on. I don't know that because I can't think about all the lyrics right now. But I'm trying to think. I wanted to say she was getting dressed and she was like put her makeup on and she was looking good and all that stuff, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Patty might have had something going on. She might have had something with that.
Yeah.
It's possible. It's possible. So now that we have read the definition and we have some basic understanding now, a new perspective or some new light shed on the word attitude. Our second question of the evening is, how can a person's attitude affect or influence their interactions with others? Let us know in the chat. How can a person's attitude affect or influence their intention, their interactions with others? And it's based on 4 and 7.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Yeah.
because we know the ballet move, you know, somebody might get kicked. And then we know with the jobs and stuff like that. But I mean, this is where we at with it with attitude. Everybody is you know, with the negative thing, you know, and the cocky thing and the defiance and the
Yeah, and it's funny because and that's why I was hoping for a 8 that had a good definition of at least a positive definition, the word positive on it in the definition, and not in the sentence describing the definition, right? Because when you ask this question now, it seems almost obvious that a person's negative attitude will put, like I said, put a strain on everything. But at the same time, it seems like everybody's attitude is putting a strain on everything because the fact that you even have one in the first place, right? Like you walking into a thing with your fear, allowing your fear to prejudge your situation. So you walk in there with this energy or this type of feeling that you make other people they got to show me who they are before I show them who I am, kind of thing. um and I don't think that's at at least for me. If you want to have a relationship with me, that's not helpful for me, right? I
right.
don't know. I don't know how other people do things. Like I don't like having my feelings being played with like that and toyed with, and somebody can hurt you and hug you and hurt you and hug you. Like I don't like that,
Yeah.
right? um like I said, looking at the definitions, they they're clear that what you said earlier, you got a funky attitude. uh,
Yeah, funky ass attitude,
Fix your attitude.
fix your
like
attitude.
like those things, like even the person saying those things has a negative attitude in saying it, right? Like because they didn't give you enough descriptors so that there could be peace, right? Like you got a funky attitude. Like, all right, so do I need to change my shirt? Do I need to button my top shirt? Like, do I need to go brush my teeth? Do I need to
But
smile?
that's if they haven't exemplified something
Already. Yeah,
already.
yeah,
Yeah. I think what you're saying is accurate. It's just the
yeah,
fairness of it
yeah.
is to add that caveat of, well, has this person exemplified something? Have you had an interaction
Mm.
where you may have been very uh compassionate, but then they holding a grudge?
Yeah.
They got a funky ass attitude,
A lot of people.
you know?
Right? For whatever, which is why I'm saying like those people had those attitudes in the first place. They had the attitude before you had compassion, right? They had the attitude for you, and I think they have the attitude after you have compassion, like they're holding a grudge because you are the one that came to their aid, right? Like that's how I feel about it, right? Like I feel like, at least when I look at my experiences and I look at all the people um that I done shared with, a great many of them were very unappreciative when it was time to sabotage or put boundaries in place, right? Like it was like, yeah, I ain't like this anyway. Like it wasn't even that good anyway, or it wasn't like it was perfect and great and everything I needed when you was using it for free. But soon as the circumstances or situations change, all of a sudden their attitude shows,
Right.
right? And that's what I'm saying. It's tricky, man. Like I feel like we need to ban this word and only use it for
Ban the word attitude.
like, cause we're not using it right, bro. Like it's we like because even in a situation what you said and being fair of somebody explaining like, yo, you being a fuck nigga or whatever, or you doing this wrong, or you not being stand up. I think you need to say that all the time, right? I think repetition is key, right? Like what they say, the ego learns in trauma repetition and in symbols, right? You gotta repeat the things over and over again so that a person can hear how and exactly why they are foul every single time. Don't do shorthand. Don't do shortcuts. Don't do abbreviations. Don't nah I mean, son. Nah, I don't know what you mean.
Right.
Say all of the words. Say exactly how I disappointed you or let you down or whatever, right? Or like say all those things so that your heart could be felt. Because otherwise, like you're not saying enough. Like you're not getting it off. And I feel like when you if you don't say enough words, right? Like you got a big ass hole, bro. Like that's like you leave room for a grudge to build and come in there because you ain't get it all out. You ain't actually communicate what you needed to communicate. You said some other stuff, but the important stuff you didn't actually let out and get out, and it was not heard or received, and it's eating you up on the inside still, right? So like
But see,
y-
people stop talking to people though,
yeah.
you know? So
So
like they want that shit to eat their ass up.
that's terrible.
You know, like that. That's why I look at. That's why That's why I say the attitude of holding a grudge. Anybody who's holding a grudge against me, I hope you get cancer. Okay, for real, for real.
Oh man.
Because because I hope it eats you up that fucking bad. Whoever it is, like you said, say everything right, get it all off. The reason why is because anybody that I have ever valued them,
Mhm.
I've always apologized, regardless of whether it's always been sincere, regardless of whether of how they felt about the shit or not. I do that because I let you know that there's a door that you can still open up.
I ain't shut this mug yet.
You see what I'm saying? But when I shut the door, it's closed.
Deadbolt.
Yeah.
Pit
So
bulls on the outside and
yeah,
on the inside.
and on the inside, you know. So I do that on purpose because I don't want to hold no grudge, and I clear my conscience. It's not a race to apologize to one up. It's not a race to be like, oh, well, let me hurry up and apologize first. No, 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 no. No, it is to say, all right, I did something that hurt you. I want you to know that's not my intentions. My intentions was not to hurt you, even if it did hurt you. Even if I don't think that the shit that I did should have hurt. But you was playing with me, and I don't play with you like that. So you got to side that you asked for. You in your actions, you have to take accountability for your own actions. You have to take responsibility for your own actions. And that's what I do with my apology. Now, if a person says, fuck you and your apology, stand on that.
Stand on that forever.
You know? Stand on that. You know? But don't, if I see you bleeding in the street, don't look at me like, help me. You see? Even though I still may, just because I'm just that type of person. You know, where I'll be like, damn, I would hate to see this person die right here, and I just walk right past them, and I knew I could have did something. Cause I don't wish death on him. I don't wish death on him. You know, but that's my attitude. That is my attitude. And I know everybody ain't me. So like you were saying earlier, with people saying like, tell me all the stuff, get it all off. People scared to communicate. Like, we can do that. You know, God, like you could sit me down and tell me, Pearl, I don't like the way you motherfucking blah, 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 blah. And I'm gonna sit there and listen. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna listen. It's not gonna be, are you done? I'm gonna listen.
My turn.
You know what I'm saying? And then I'm gonna be like, okay, well, let me explain to you, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But if you don't oblige me that, then it's like, okay, then you just wanted to get your shit off and you didn't want no resolve. You didn't even want to know where I was coming from with it. So we could have.
That means I don't give a fuck about you. And this friendship has never been a friendship. And you only supposed to have been here to satisfy me and my ego. And who cares about you? That's what.
And that's it. You know, so once I get an interaction like that, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, turn the other fucking cheek? Like, nah. You know, like, I ain't from the turn the fucking cheek. I fucked with Malcolm X more than I fucked with Martin Luther King. All that standing around getting your ass whooped, getting dogs sicked on you and shit, I would have been dead. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a V son. I would have been gone. You know?
Nah, God, we wouldn't have made it through the training to actually made it to the fucking rallies. We wouldn't have made it.
For real. Like, nah. It wouldn't have been no turn the other cheeks, get your other ass cheek bit the fuck off. Nah. You know, so that's how I know we supposed to be here doing what we doing now. And I wasn't, you know, my daddy ain't older, my mother ain't older, and they didn't have me when they was born, because, you know what I'm saying? Because they had more patience to go through the stuff that they went through. You know, that's why they still here, you know. And I'm like, and I was born at the time that I was supposed to be born at. So we can sit here and we can talk about this, so we can build on some of them things. Like we always say, this show is inspired by the rehabilitation effort of brother Malcolm X when he went to prison and he said, I don't understand this language. So I need to learn this language. And that's what we doing. We just trying to learn the language. Everybody fucking it up.
Clearly.
It's being taught that way.
On purpose.
On purpose.
And it's either they don't think we, and I say we, I mean we as a society, either they don't think that we are intelligent enough to be able to use all our words, or they know that they poisoning us and giving us ADHD and we're not going to be able to remember all the words. So they cut down the sentences and they just taking shortcuts and everything is shorthand and nah I mean. And
yeah.
A bunch of half sentences and
like you said, what's that thing like when people say what dead ass, or that's my word, or you know, and then that's supposed to be it. That's it. There's no more conversation. That's it.
Regionally, you said a whole lot, right? But that's two people speaking the same language, right? If one person is using language that another person's not familiar with, the other person is like, so
dead ass what? What's your word?
So are we doing this or not doing it? Like what's happening exactly?
For real, because you want to be able to communicate to all your people and all on all levels. Not just I don't want to just be good in the hood. I want to be good in on Main Street too. You know, we had Black Wall Street. Then we have a Black Wall Street. So that mean that
Bunch of
everybody was that didn't mean that everybody was just good on the farm or good in the projects. That didn't mean that. You know what I'm saying? That mean that some people was good on Wall Street too.
good on that abacus.
You know, so I mean, balance.
Yeah.
Balance, like, you know, that's the attitude. Or is that negative? Is that negative? This shit crazy.
That does get crazy because even with that word balance, right? If a person doesn't understand that you need at least two things to be balanced, something that you say is this and something that you say is that, and what's in the middle of this and that is the balance. If you don't have that and you think that you could be the middle piece for everything or in every situation, that you can, I'm going to be the balance. Like that's dangerous, a dangerous thought process, right? Because if you think that you are always right going into even unknown situations, or a situation you just walking into, right? You can know everybody in that room, but you just walking in there for the first time today. You don't know what the hell happened before you got there, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah, you ain't read the log.
you didn't read the law.
Matter of fact, nobody logged it.
All right, so it's like hell no. All right, so it's just we just mess up all these words, right? And we just out here just bumping our gums, bro. Just
meaning, saying what you mean what you say. What is
and
that shit even about?
I don't know if that should even mean anything when everybody lying,
Right.
right? Everybody catfishing, everybody got on tons of makeup, everybody like they got shirts with pecs and arms, and they got the panties with butts, and even they even got the camel toe panties. I'm like, you already got camel toes. I don't get it. Like, you putting the pussy on top of your pussy? Good job.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't even know when that became a thing.
I don't either.
You know, I don't even remember when that became a thing. Like, that's the wildest shit to me. That's even
But
something to sport. You know, like that, like sporting your vagina. You know, it's like, what am I to tell women to do with their vaginas? I
oh,
don't
but
wanna,
it's not
but
it, but not that conversation. I was going back to your earlier point from the whole NWA thing, though, right? That becomes an attitude that everybody just takes on, or a persona that this is supposed to be
yeah,
like this. Yeah, yeah. So we ain't woman bashing.
yeah,
We just talk about
yeah.
yeah,
Like, come
yeah.
on, like,
Like
you know what I'm saying?
it
Like,
just out of nowhere, this thing just became a fad, and it's like it is now cool to put on to look completely different in real life. Well, not real life. Like I would hate for
to
somebody to take.
to
I
wear
would
a
hate.
pad, to wear a pad that accentuates your vagina
And
to on purpose,
on purpose.
other
Like
than
what?
your sanitary pad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, come on, family. Like, is that's where we at with it?
And didn't want me to have a conversation with you other than sexual and mean it.
I want to thank you, the God Ali Dawudel, the BK Soul Forum, for your 30 years of exemplary fortitude and
Been doing my
strength.
best.
You know what I'm saying? Because,
All 30 ain't been exemplary, but we here.
you know what I'm saying? That's all right. We still keep on pushing. You know, keep rising to the top.
Hell yeah, bro. It's crazy out here, man.
That's the attitude. That is the attitude. So look, y'all. So Question number 2: how can a person's attitude affect or influence their interactions with others? I mean, let us know in the comment section. I don't even know if we really answered that, because you know, we know attitude just has an effect and influence that, especially looking at the negative aspect of it. You know, it's going to be difficult. It's really going to be difficult. Probably going to have a lot of arguments, a lot of frustration with people. Definitely going to have a hard time making progress and being productive in relationships, business situations, personal, based on the definition of attitude and how we use it, and what we colloquially use it as, because the definition really does not help.
God, we need to, like, everybody watching this show, we need to all put together a petition. Like, they need to have a number 8, and number 8 needs to contrast number 7, right? Like, it has to be a positive, like, with the exception of number 7, bro. Like, every other one was positive or negative in the sentence, right? It left it up to the observer or to the person's mentality or whatever. But number 7 was specifically negative. Like, that really bothers me.
Yeah, specifically negative, right?
Like, and for there not to be a specifically positive definition as well, right? Like, sentences are cool, you know, they give inference and stuff like that, but a definition is what the fuck that shit is. Like this is tough, man. Like, we need balance on attitude. That's what we need.
Yeah, he said we need some balance on that attitude, right?
We need balance on attitude, bro. Where's my yacht at when you need her?
Yeah, you know, they don't. It ain't in the school. It ain't even in the history books like it need to be. Not even. For real. It's like, if you don't know where to go get it, you're not gonna find it. Yeah, it's like, if you don't have a direction, if you ain't got no Bobby Hammond, rest in peace, in your no pillars, none of the pillars, you ain't got no Black Magic 365, Dr. Valentine, any of the Bay brothers, like,
Yeah.
I mean, like, you gotta have
Brother Panic, Delbert Blair. You gotta have.
Come on.
Yeah.
The list goes down, you know. So it's like, if you don't have any of that being put into your psychic, any of that feeding yourself to get it, it's out here.
Yeah.
You know, and it don't matter where you start. Like, I even look at some of the other brothers. I don't like everything they on, but I'm like, at least they do have some valid points though, that'll give you a starting block. You know,
Yeah.
the AA Rashids,
Yeah.
What's the guy with the school? He can't
Not Umar.
Yeah, Umar. And then Rizza Islam. Then you got the other brother from the FOI. I can't think his name, the light-skinned brother who be talking about the health and stuff like that.
The Wesley Muhammad.
Brother Wesley Muhammad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's sharp too with it though. Peace. What's up, Sash?
Peace, sis.
Thanks for pulling up tonight. We get ready to get into that segment, y'all. Tonight, y'all, we've been talking and smoking on the word attitude. And this evening we get ready to go ahead and jump into the flavor bombs. So we're gonna go ahead and get into those tonight.
Bombs presented to you by DBCHEFTV.
So y'all, we got the flavor bombs. We got Kanye and Diddy talking about doing a collab record. They said it came out a little while ago prior to Diddy's trial and everything and all this stuff he got going on. So we're gonna check out and see what they got to say about that. Then we got Nelly and Ashanti, Back to Black Love. You know, we want to give them a shout out, check out what they got going on, because we love to see Black love coming together. And then we have a small clip from a YouTuber. Their link will be in the description, about the BBB, the what was they called, the Big Beautiful Bill. And we have a big win for seniors. There's some very important tax information for seniors. So we're gonna pull that up and get into that, y'all. So first, let's get into this Kanye and Diddy clip right here. And all the links gonna be in the description, y'all, if y'all want to check these out after the show.
Thank you so much for just taking care of my kids, man.
Absolutely. I love you so much, man.
Kanye West dropping a new track, seemingly featuring disgraced rapper Sean Diddy Combs.
I'm not even focused on problems. That's how I change them.
Ye sharing and then deleting the song.
You see how they say disgrace? Should he be disgraced, God?
I had a problem with that guy. I was gonna let the whole thing play. I ain't want to say nothing.
Should he be disgraced?
So if we are saying, because he's been convicted of 2 crimes, prostitution and
prostitution.
Prostitution. So he is a criminal, right? So we have to give the people that. I don't know if that's disgrace though. I don't know if that's disgrace. I think that word disgrace had nothing to do with prostitution. I think it had everything to do with people seeing him beat the Cassie in a hallway.
Okay. So so he should be disgraced about beating Cassie up like that.
I think that's why he's disgraced, and not for the prostitution.
Okay. But buying some box when they got underwear that they putting inside of their tights to enhance the box.
Dog, we got OnlyFans.
I don't know.
We got a whole bunch of things. We got a bunch of things out here.
And with the LGBTQ AI plus, IA plus, however it go, I don't want to be disrespectful.
Yeah.
You know, now all of his homosexual activity or his sexual preference activity is now out. But I mean,
I didn't follow the whole trial. I thought he was just buying dudes to watch them have sex with his girl. I don't think that he was having sex with these dudes, was he?
Okay, so
and I only say that because you said homosexual.
Okay, so this is where I get the homosexual activity from, because if you've ever watched porn, then you could be considered a voyeurist.
Yeah,
because you watching 2 people having sex and it's not you.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not justifying whatever he was doing, but that's his own personal thing. If he got enough money that he want to direct porn in real life and he want his girlfriend to do it, you know, hey, that's his thing. It's not my cup of tea, but that's what he liked to do. All right. But some of the things that they said that he would engage in, you know, like afterwards, you know, where it got graphic and stuff like that, talking about him, you know, the guys ejaculating and then Diddy playing with it, and
that was all court stuff. That was stuff.
Yeah, they talked about that in court. They put that shit out there.
That's homosexual. I didn't know about that.
Yes.
I didn't know about that.
So that's why I was giving that. Like,
no, that's what I was saying. That's why I asked the question. Like, I don't know about homosexual because I don't know.
But just like you say, a guy, like when I just described it, you was like, yeah, that's homosexual. So yeah, so that's why. You know, that's what I, yeah, because I'm just like, yeah, dude, that's homosexual.
Yeah,
So,
so thank
so I'm like, okay, um, but once
you. See,
again, with the
my bad, God. I asked the question if they said that in court because people were saying a lot of things before things was coming out in court that never came out in court. So I'm like, so I was expecting to hear that he killed, Tupac, yeah, Biggie. I
he
was
ain't on
expecting a
trial for none
whole.
of that.
I was expecting to hear all that stuff come out, right? But I was expecting to hear he was on Epstein's island, some shit like that, and all that stuff. But I just heard him. I just heard stuff about him and his girlfriend at the time doing stuff.
That's it. And all the girls was complicit. Like the girls wasn't victims.
I was even expecting to hear that at the actual parties itself, that's where the freak off happened at the parties, but the freak off was only between him and his girl.
And they only happened at hotels. He never did it at his house.
So I'm like, I don't understand, right? Like, why everybody still say, oh, those parties was this and those parties was. I'm like, that's just you guys projecting what you hope was really going on there and what you think. But in court, I didn't hear none of that. Like, I didn't.
That's what I'm
Granted,
saying. Because the girl Jaguar Wright was like, and there were kids in the
yeah,
corners and
like
all that.
I was expecting all that. Like, I'm expecting Jaguar Wright to be on the stand
Right.
and be the prosecutor's number one witness for everything because she was everywhere saying everything. And I'm like, man, it's to the point now where anybody coming up and getting on a camera talking about anybody else, like you shouldn't listen to that person because they only want it for clout. They only doing that shit for clout. They don't want they don't care about the babies that they talking about got hurt. They don't care about none of the victims that they saying was there that got hurt. Like in fact, they dragging the victim more by telling this story over and over and over and over and over again and getting more salacious with it every time they tell it, right? And it's like, oh, she must be telling the truth or he must be telling the truth because boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, nah, fam, like, why are you telling us and not the prosecutors? Right? Why are you not at the police station saying, it's kind of like with all the immigrants and stuff, right? The illegal immigrants, the undocumented workers and stuff. I'm of the mind, God, that the employers hiring these cats as undocumented, they ass need to be fucking under the prison. Like they are human traffickers. Like they are, they are, they
Don't
are
do
you.
that. Don't do
No,
that.
God,
No,
nah, I
no,
want
don't
no,
do that.
nah,
Don't do that.
God.
Don't do that.
Convince me not to, right? Because as far as I'm concerned, if you are choosing to pay person A, let's just say $4 or $5 less than what you can pay person B, which is the standard here for the society, and you're only paying person A that because person A is here on a humble, and you got all kind of power and control over this person. You can dime them out, like you're a monster, right? Like so you are taking advantage of the system, this American system, this government. You taking advantage of taxpaying citizens. You taking advantage of this person that you are slutting out right now. Even if you are paying them some money, we can't use the word slavery, right? Because they are getting some wages, but it's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? It's fucked up.
It is fucked up. I can't change your mind on it. I can only come from this other side of the coin. Because everything that you said is absolutely correct. If that is what's going on. The other side of the coin that I see is this. Americans don't want to work them jobs. So we haven't, and I'll just start with the so-called Black community, which we know does not exist. All right. So the so-called Black community, which does not exist, does not even have an infrastructure to be able to funnel people through to that. That may be something we could do. Like we might start a job service since they sending all the Haitians back. They sending all the Hispanics back and Latinos back.
Got mad opportunities.
You know what I'm saying? And these jobs, like these places that you want to lock them up, but you know what I'm saying? But like, if we don't lock them up, then they still have a business that still needs to be ran, and still are without personnel to fill those positions based on our demand, because we still need them goods and services, right? And if it's nobody there to work, then that means that those businesses will either, one, go out of business because they can't meet the demand, or will suffer. And I mean both of them are a consequence of it, because now we're still in demand of it, but now they can't supply it because they don't have the labor force. So until there is something internal to funnel people to those jobs, to those career fields, because then I'm just like, why not let the whoever want to work there work there? Why not? Because if we not gonna go work there, then I still want to get my chicken. I still want to get my, whatever places that they working at in them factories. I still want those goods and services. Like I'm somewhere else being productive, making money, but I'm still gonna spend it on that stuff. So if that stuff is no longer there, then you don't have it to spend it on. You got to go somewhere else. And then what happened is then it'll get subcontracted out the country. So then it won't even incentivize for people to, because the people won't go and work the job. Like we in the so-called Black community that don't even exist, people are just starting to embrace farming. Again, I'm talking about just planting some stuff in the backyard. People are just starting to get back to that.
Because that was slavery for a lot of people.
Right. Like my Nana V picked cotton.
It was slavery for a lot of people.
I mean, she got paid. She picked tobacco, cotton, she got paid for it. It wasn't under the whip.
Yeah.
But growing up though, if it weren't for being around my grandma and granddaddy, man, my mom was opening up a can or something.
My only retort to what you got to say, guy, right now, and it doesn't change what I'm saying. If those same employers paid those people the same American wages, then I would accept the argument that Americans don't want to work those jobs, right? Because I'm saying if you have an option to hire an undocumented worker or hire a United States citizen and you have to pay them the same rate, you wouldn't hire the undocumented person, right? Because that person puts your job and your business in jeopardy, right? ICE might come around and get their ass, the laws might change, everything might change. If you talk about supply and demand, like you will if we are paying everybody the same wages, then you would want the more consistent and more reliable person, even in idea, and that would be the citizen. When we talk about supply and demand, that's why I say, right, support your interests and live. Because as long as cats are being lazy and don't want to farm, and you willing for your food to come from a whole nother country, or you willing to not even know where your food is coming from, or even know how to do anything, then I'm saying you deserve to starve to death. I don't
See.
I don't I don't have
Look, ain't nobody gonna starve to death. You know why? Because you get a biggie bag, you get a biggie bag, you get a biggie bag, you get a biggie bag. Ain't nobody gonna starve in America.
All right. I think our demand needs to be checked, right? Like our demand comes from TV. And if our demand comes from TV, like they got our mind, bro. Like we need to change what we want. We need to change what we need, bro. We need to readjust because they telling us that we need this big old house, and they telling us that we need to go to that Diddy party, and they telling us that for like casting couches are real because in somebody's mind, this might be my shot. I might have to do this one time in order to get that, right? To that person that did it that one time and got what they need, are they miserable? Did they get what they wanted? Like to everybody else, they might be saying, "Oh man, that's messed up. Now you don't deserve your millions no more. Let's take all your success away from you from your one action, from a choice that you made." Right? Like I don't know, man. Like I don't like the idea of anybody taking advantage of anybody. Right? So even with those employers, my only issue is that they're choosing to hire those people because they're not paying them the fair wage. I'm saying that if they paid them a fair wage, it wouldn't be like this.
That's cool, but that ain't how the game go.
It ain't.
That ain't how the game go because everybody is in business. When you go in business, you go in business to make money. So anywhere that you can cut costs and be more effective, you're gonna do it. So if you find a loophole where you can give people visas, work visas, and you can pay them less because they will work for it,
That shit evil.
and you in a situation. I mean, honestly, like, and you in a situation where people not applying for the job because they feel like it's beneath them. Like I'm not gonna stand, not me, but people have an attitude like I'm not gonna stand in there and be plucking chickens all day. I'm not gonna be standing in there and doing this, and it's too cold in there, and this and I gotta lift this and I gotta do that and that. Is
So, but
people lazy as shit in
I
around
agree.
these parts.
I agree with that. But what I also hear is when I go to this construction site, they're not hiring me. Like they always got some reason for why they're not
Because
hiring
they
me.
full. They got everybody. You came late. You came late and you didn't come with a skill that is necessary, that is more than necessary.
I don't know, guy. Like
High level skill, you know. And then sometimes that's one. But then sometimes, God, like, why we thinking get employed? Why we ain't thinking entrepreneur, open that business up?
I'm there always, but
Not you and I.
what I realized though is the majority of people don't want to be bosses.
Well, then they don't want to eat because if it's I have to ask you for food versus I have the skill and I know I can go out here and I can just I can I might get 1,000 no's, but all it needs is that one yes right there. That's gonna help me start eating. I know I can't spend it all on food, but guess what? I can stack a little bit till I get me another yes. So that has to be the attitude. If that's not gonna be the attitude, then it's like then I'm always gonna have
that's what I'm saying. Like we need to change. Like the TV shows need to change, right? Because we don't have entrepreneur TV shows. We don't have like everything is.
I need you to validate me.
Yeah,
like I need you to validate.
Balloon popping and
yeah,
and a whole bunch of foolishness that don't do nothing productive. And those things are taking over our psyche, and we laugh and we take the content in, and we imagine ourselves. Well, if I had the balloon, would I pop the balloon for that person? Or that was a good reason. Here it is, you got a whole wife or a whole husband, and you sitting here having a whole debate over somebody else's relationship. This is bananas. I don't know, man. People
that shit is entertainment for people who think that shit is entertainment.
Entertainment is cool until it transfers over to your attitude and your way of living, right? You actually start using fucking TV lingo and dialogue in your day to day, and then it's like, and then
like NWA, right? Like NWA, right? The influence.
And then it's like, is it just entertainment, or does it start influencing and become influential?
Yes, it is.
Right, and at what point does it become influential before you can say, all right, it's more than entertainment, it has impacted? Like, what is the metrics for that shit? Like, how do you?
Maturity, knowing the difference,
Yeah,
being comfortable with who you are, not needing validation from other people, except for people that you care about their opinion.
the people that
You
you
know,
assign to be validators.
yeah, that's it. You know, and that takes a level of maturity, because most people who young, they trying to figure it out. They trying to find themselves. They trying to
Yeah.
find where they fit in. And, you know, it's just like a person could be like, I don't like him. I don't like you. I don't like her. I don't like this. Like, that's fine. You don't have to like everything. Trust me.
You don't.
I've been on this earth for almost 50 years. I know it's a lot of people that don't like me. But all I need is the people that love me. That's it. Because I know there's going to be plenty of more people that I meet that will not like me. But the only reason why that person, most of the people that don't like me, is because they don't understand who I am in real life. And they fear it because they got some negative shit with them. And I see it. So because I see it, that don't mean I hold it against them.
Yeah.
But I don't, but I keep my distance. I keep a balance where it's only so much shit I'm gonna allow you to access to, because you're a fucked up individual.
And you'll hurt everything if I let you get too close. You're just
yeah. So that's what comes with maturity. When we was talking about the last show, where I said, like, I pick people, I think I do a good job at picking people. Because when I meet somebody, I can't help it. I cannot help it. Blame my mama, blame my daddy. Maybe I'm just like my mother. She never satisfied. Okay. When I meet somebody, if your energy fucked up, I already know it. That don't mean that I treat you like shit right there. I still give you a chance. But I already know there's something fucked up about this person. But don't allow that to determine how I'm going to treat them. Still be kind, still treat them with respect. Allow them to show you who the fuck they are, how fucked up they are. Because they gonna show you, because you done already peeped it. They don't get it. And then they get scared of that, because when they sit quiet and they think about it, they be like, damn, he knew I was fucked up.
He caught me.
Now they can't come back. Now they can't. Now they scared to come back and hold themselves accountable and just be accountable. Like, you know what? I was fucked up. Even if it don't be an apology. You don't even have to be apologized. I was fucked up. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. I'll take that as an apology, because you wanted to, you're letting me know that you acknowledge that you did something wrong. Okay, or that there was something in disagreement, or something that you self-reflected on, something that you feel like you don't want to be again. You want to be better. You just changed your attitude. Okay, cool. Because if they pay attention to it, I ain't shit on you. You know? Because when I start taking this shit on people, like, I have a hard time stopping. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't do that. That's why we just remove that dynamic. We just be like, nah, we're not gonna get into that space, because if we get into that space with you, you know, like, somebody might really fucking get hurt, because I might not know how to dial that shit down or dial it back. So that's me taking accountability. That's me taking accountability for even what I'm possibly capable of. That's me adjusting my attitude, because I know that I can be on some fuck shit too. So it takes everybody involved, all parties involved. But if ain't nobody gonna be accountable, then it's just gonna be like what it is out here. It's just wild, wild west. And people walk around like, oh, I don't like this and I don't like that, no, like this. Man, I used to work in places where I ain't like 50% of the fucking people that was there.
That's it, just 50.
Yeah, so yeah, you know, that was enough, you know, because I got to deal with everybody. You know, in my position, I had to deal with everybody 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
So I had to actually check all of my shit, all of my attitudes, all of my personal things, all of my stuff had to be put in a box, suppressed. So that way, what I projected did not cause them to have a bad day or did not affect their progress. You know, and a lot of people say that they got, and it's arguable. A lot of people say, oh, they have you know, oh, I got the hardest job in the military, or I got the hardest job in the military, or I got the hardest. Man, try suppressing all the shit you got going on, because you got to make everybody feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Try that. Try that. Try coming to work one day and just you upset with your wife, your son, your daughter, a cousin, a family member, your bills, and let that shit spill out. I bet you they're gonna ask your ass to go home if you're in a position where you can go home.
Yo, God, that's one debate and conversation I never understood. Who had the hardest job? Which branch was the roughest or the toughest? Or
They do that shit all the time.
and I'm like, like, where did that shit come from? Like, on a boat, not one person could do everything.
Not one person could do everything, right?
Not even if one person had the knowledge and the experience on everything, one person cannot do everything.
Cannot do everything.
Right.
And that's what I used to say all the time. One person don't make this ship go. You know,
You need every one of us.
But I know for one thing, everybody didn't see. My argument when I would hear that shit is you don't gotta deal with everybody every day. I gotta deal with everybody every day. Everybody every day. From the top of the food chain to the bottom of the food chain, every single day, 3 times a day, unless they don't show up to eat. So nobody else is dealing with that.
That's crazy.
Nobody else was dealing with that. You know, and I ain't look at it like it was my job hard. I'm just like, I suck that shit up. I was talking to my dad, and we was talking about how like black men just need to go to counseling. Because like all black men, it don't matter what is the catalyst for it, because we grow up one wearing this skin, and then we grow up with all of these attitudes, you know, where you gotta fucking be tough and you can't cry and you can't show no emotion.
Save it, God, because that's the third question.
You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, nah, you're 100% right.
You know, so let's go ahead. Let's get into Kanye and Diddy. But they said that he was disgraced.
Yeah, we got triggered by disgrace, and we got triggered by disgrace. Go ahead.
Only roads still go to sunshine on X. Off the top, what sounds to be a recorded phone call between Diddy and Kanye.
I want to thank you so much for just taking care of my kids, man. And ain't nobody reach out to them. Ain't nobody call them. You know what I'm saying? Nobody. You know what I'm saying? That meant so much. You know what I'm saying? That you reached out to them and took them under your wing while I'm in this. Man, I appreciate you. Bird up, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I love you so much, man. It's like you raised me even when I didn't know you. You know what I'm saying?
Kanye's been vocal about defending Diddy, who's currently in jail awaiting trial after being indicted last year on sex trafficking charges, racketeering, and more. Diddy's son King also part of the track.
Dead wrong like B.I. still the king like T.I. still bop like D.I.D.D.Y.
Meanwhile, Kanye's daughter North also lends her rapping skills.
Doing everything I wanted, that's the key to life. When you see me shining, then you see the light. Running through the jungle like a cheetah ride. Surrounded by fake friends I don't even like.
TMZ reports Ye
You muted, God.
Yep, I know. We're gonna cut that right there. Just wanted to hear them bars. I just wanted to hear them them Northwest bars right there. You know, she said, running through the key to life, shining bright. I hear you. You know what I'm saying? Spit that shit.
I like this guy. And I like it because he was not found guilty for all the heinous stuff that he was charged with. Right? The things that he was found guilty of, for the most part, not heinous. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I heard they still said it was sex trafficking and racketeering and all that stuff. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't trafficking. It was paying for prostitution. So he's still going to be a registered sex offender.
You get a registered sex offender for buying a prostitute?
If you go buy some punani,
real,
okay, and you get caught and that is a sex crime. Yes, it is. So you will be a registered sex offender. It's horrible.
Damn.
And what he got convicted of is under the Mann Act.
The Mann Act, yeah.
But the Mann Act was made for pimping. You know, it was made for pimps because during that time, pimps were supposed to be pimps was controlling they bitches.
I was expecting to hear that Diddy was pimping people and stuff, and I was expecting to hear all kind of stuff, but he wasn't even pimping the guys. Like he
got money. He paying for the shit.
He paying for everything. He ain't make no money.
He ain't make no money off that. They was trying to sell it. They was saying it because nobody knew what was going on. It was all internet speculation. Oh yeah, he was taking Cassie and pimping her out, and people was making money. He was selling her to this one and that one, and they was coming through some like all that bullshit. None of that. He was freaking off. He had money. That's what he liked to do.
With his girl,
and they was with it. His girls, whoever was his girls
at the time,
engaged at the time. Because it was a few of them. So, that's how that go. But we got Nelly and Ashanti right here. Y'all look good. Shout out to Nelly and Ashanti, and congratulations on y'all just had a little baby.
Yeah.
Baby girl. So we love to see black love over here, man. And I heard somebody say that black celebrities aren't superheroes and all that stuff. And I agree. But in America, they don't put the spotlight on the black doctor with the wife. Now I know some people. I had shout out to my Huxtables in the Bronx. They know who they is. My big cousin and his wife. You know what I'm saying? He a doctor. She an attorney. So they like my real life Huxtables. I know of a few people in life that I look up to. Shout out to Ali Dawu L and Crystal Sparkles L. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to a whole bunch of people that I look that black love, that they don't get the spotlight, and they've really been in it to win it and doing it. So when we see somebody doing it and we see that they have been through some adversity, my homeboy was asking me, he said, who was Ashanti dating and stuff? And wasn't Nelly married? I said, man, I can't tell you because I don't follow who people sleeping with.
I don't care.
I just don't be into that like that. I said, I know.
If it ain't me, I don't care.
Yeah, like Ashanti was with Nelly and then they broke up and now they back together. So other than that, yeah, we've seen the stories and all this with the Irv Gotti-ness and all that, but who cares about all that? We talking about today, right now, how happy they look, what they represent. What can we learn from this? What's the example? And the example is that they want to be married. They want to be together.
They want to be married. They want to be together.
And that's what we should be valuing. You know, everybody else gonna be looking at what type of car he bought her for her birthday and all that other dumb shit that they're gonna show on the television show.
The only thing that matters is that they want to be married. They want to be together.
That's it. And that's what we should be aspiring to have, that type of.
Dog, that is hot, bro. Like those are bars, cause that kind of is everything. If two individual people both want to be married in the first place, two single people want to be married, and they want to be with each other, like that's everything.
That's the first part. That's the commitment.
Like you hear this, you want to be married, and a person that you with also wants to be married, and you want to be with them, and they want to be with you. Like you ain't gotta be that smart.
You don't have to be that smart, do you? You don't have to be that smart. But you can stand there and look real intelligent and look sharp and fly like they doing. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead. Let's get into this footage real quick.
So what is the number one reason we belong together?
Because I said so. No, I'm just kidding. One of the reasons we belong together, I think just we have so much of a history of being together and then not. And then I truly believe in when things are meant to be, they will be.
Only E.T. has Ashanti and Nelly grilling each other about life and love. The couple famously rekindling their romance nearly 10 years after they first split. Now they're ready to lay it all out there with their new reality show, We Belong Together.
We have grown, we're adults.
But we're still trying to have fun. There's a slot machine calling my name now.
We both never thought we would be back together. We both hated each other for a long time. So I think, again, like when things are.
Nelly said, I ain't say that. You said that.
You said
that. Are meant, nothing can stop what's meant for you. So
in the early 2000s,
and we ain't gonna go into it. We don't need to talk about the past like that. They own it.
They own it.
They own it.
Nah, that's dope. I like it. And get that bag, man. Get they're already entertainers. I don't think. Hopefully nobody put too much stock or faith in their relationship or their reality TV show like it's TV. Let it just be that.
Yeah, you know how that go. You know how sometimes, yeah, people want to live vicariously, or they, you know how that shit go. People want to live vicariously. They want to, well, they could have blah, 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 and they could have this and they could have that. But look at your own life. Hey, is your own shit raggedy? If your own shit is raggedy, then you need a new attitude. It might be somebody that you didn't know 10 years ago, or that you needed to get with 10 years ago. And y'all might have to rekindle y'all thing, or it might be time for a new thing. That and you take some of them lessons from Ashanti and Nelly and that you see and be able to apply it, man. Like for everybody out there, I don't watch the show, but if I do catch something and they drop us some jewels, then of course we're gonna see how it applies. That's the thing. Like, we're not gonna pay attention to the bullshit, but we're gonna pay attention to the loving stuff, to the stuff that looks good. That's like, you know what? That's sweet. That's nice. Because a lot of times the women gonna be paying attention to it more so than the guys. So shout out to Nelly and Ashanti doing their thing. Y'all check out that show that they got going on. So, this next flavor bomb right here is the Build Back, not the Build Back, the Big Beautiful Bill. The Big Beautiful Bill just got or is in the process of passing or whatever. So there are some tax benefits, some that benefit seniors, benefit people over 65. So if you have family members, if you are over 65, anybody watching the show, if you have family members that are over 65, this link will be in the description of our video. I encourage you to share this with them. I'm only going to play two different little segments of it, because it is worth going to Devin Carroll's page and actually getting some of the information that he shares on taxes and some of the other stuff that he has. You know, we follow different YouTube pages, especially for finance. Like, I'm always looking at everything. I have parents and they over 65. So I don't just find things that I can apply for me. I look at, you know, my eldest too, and things that I can lend to them, because they own fixed incomes, they have incomes, they own businesses, other people, you know, and we want to win out here. And a lot of times on the surface, it gets polluted with all of this stuff because people dislike Trump, people dislike this, people dislike that, people dislike Biden, people dislike all of this stuff. And then you have all these other things going on that may be distractions. So the things that are tangible get missed. And that's what I focus on. I focus on the tangibles, the good stuff, you know, in the midst of the storm, you know, that there will be some sunshine after we get through this shit. So how can we prepare for that? You know, let's get the barbecue together, because when the sun come back out, yeah, we finna cook. So we're gonna play this this video right here, and we're gonna stop it.
But starting in 2025, the standard deduction is going to increase by $1,500 for joint filers and $750 for single filers. So that's going to bring the standard deduction up to $31,500 for a married couple that's filing jointly, and $15,750 for a single filer. And then if you're over the age of 65, you can get an additional deduction on top of that. So it's $1,600 per qualifying spouse if you're filing jointly. And if you're filing single and over the age of 65, it's an additional $2,000. So in total, a married couple filing jointly with both spouses over the age of 65 will have a standard deduction of $34,700 in 2025. And a single filer over the age of 65 is going to have a standard deduction of $17,750.
Okay. And that's a standard deduction.
Standard deduction.
So we're gonna go forward a little bit right here.
Is $6,000 per qualifying individual who is over age 65. So for a married couple where both spouses qualify, that's up to $12,000 in additional deductions. Now, what makes this especially valuable is that it applies whether or not you itemize. So if you do itemize, you can add this deduction on top of your itemized deductions. But for most people, those who simply take the standard deduction, this bonus stacks right on the top. So for 2025, the effective standard deduction for a married couple over the age of 65 will be $46,700. So that's $31,500 for the standard deduction, $3,200 for the regular over age 65 increase, and $12,000 from the senior bonus deduction.
Okay. So if anybody's watching this out here, y'all know some people, an auntie, an uncle, married couple, I don't care who it is, you know, and they over 65, make sure they get this information right here. That's $46,700 of their income that they will not be taxed on.
Because that's what deductions mean.
okay, based on this big beautiful bill, and that takes place this year. Okay.
So those are the tax cuts he talking about. Like that's how he helping us. That's pretty cool. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, fam.
That's a lot of goddamn money.
Yeah. It's not how much you make, it's how much you can keep.
That's a lot of money. Yeah, Ali.
Not how much you make, it's how much you can keep. You know, but you gotta know how to keep it, and you gotta be paying attention to the things when it happens. You can't be distracted by, oh, Trump said drink bleach. Like, gives a fuck. I ain't dumb enough to go drink some bleach, dummy. You know, you know what I'm saying?
But I am smart enough to make sure I got the deductions on my fucking list.
You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah. So definitely, you know, share this with your seniors, share this with the elders, share this with 65 and over, because if they filing taxes, the standard is already 31.5. They get a 65 age deduction right here, and then thanks to this new big beautiful bill, there is a $6,000 deduction. That, and this right here is joint. So y'all remember, this is joint. If you single, then the numbers are a little bit different, but it's not that far off. I think it's about 17.
Yeah, I think it was half, right?
It's 17 for the standard, 17 and some change for the standard, plus they get the 32. Okay, well, no, they get 1,600 on top of that, because this is double. They get 1,600, and then they get 6,000. So it's the 17 and about another 7,000. So it's roughly about half. It's roughly about half. Yep. So definitely share that with your loved ones, with your elders. That link will be in the description.
No, that's dope.
And y'all can go subscribe to his channel and, you know, continue to learn, continue to educate, you know, because that's what we be trying to do, man, trying to be better.
You've just been Flavor Bombed, and now back to our show.
If y'all just joining us, make sure to like and share the video. Also subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, so when we go live, you never miss an episode of Cigar Sundays Live. And we are going to get to our third question of the evening. Let's add this up here to the stage. So, our third question of this evening: does one's cultural background shape their attitude? Let us know in the comment section what you think. Does one's cultural background shape their attitude? The guy, Ali Dawood at BK Soul Farm. What you got for us, God?
So I'm going to say yes, right? I'm going to say yes based off of how I've been received and how all other New Yorkers have been received since I left and joined the military, went into the world. There's a certain persona that people are attached to me, especially being from Brooklyn, that they automatically think they're about to get. They usually get it, right? Because they be looking for it, right? They be wanting the attitude and stuff like that. They be wanting the aggressiveness because they be trying to put down on you. They trying to see how far they can go. They want to see if you really from that area, from that environment, to see if you really about that lifestyle, right? So people will quote unquote test you, right? Which in and of itself reinforces the attitude of that environment, right? Like, because if this person is coming at you crazy, it kind of make you want to lean in on them a little bit. You know what I mean? Because they're talking to you crazy, and you leaning in on them, or defending yourself to them, might just contribute. See, that's those people from Brooklyn. You can't take those Black New Yorkers nowhere. Those guys are so aggressive. They so this, they so that. every other New Yorker of every other ethnicity that I've come across, they all get looked at and viewed kind of the same exact way. So it's not even a black thing or a hood thing.
It's not.
That's why I said it the way I said it, right? Because
Yeah.
it's specifically if you from a certain area or region, you supposed to have this stank on you, right? Whether you got it or not. And to be fair, I think that you do have it, right? Because like we talked about before, I was always outside, but I was never on the block,
Right.
right? I've always been able to go to the store, get into the store, do my shopping, come out the store, I still got I still got everything on me,
Right.
right? So I'm from the same area as everybody else, right? But I'm not those guys, right? But go to another place, someplace further away from my environment, someplace like down south or someplace Midwest where it's just a different motion, like it's just slower or just a different energy.
It's slow. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna come back to slow. I'm gonna come back to slow.
Right.
I'm gonna come back to slow. It's not slower.
All right. In comparison, right? Because like we don't know how else to describe things that we are unfamiliar with, other than with familiar words, right? Those people look at everybody from New York with this, oh, y'all all aggressive, y'all all are like that, like y'all all and my brother, I just talked to my brother today, earlier this morning, and he was telling me how at his job, because he started, not necessarily he started, he's gotten more comfortable and more relaxed and more into this Florida lifestyle. Cass is like, oh, I can't call you Brooklyn no more because you're not tough no more. You're not cussing people out. You actually walking in here saying good morning and how you doing and smiling. And I'm like, that's crazy because this cat 100% still Brooklyn. Like he would rob every last one of y'all, right? Like cause he, like my brother was like we different, right? But I find that to be so interesting that because you're not cussing nobody out, because you're not sagging your pants, because you're not actively selling drugs or actively doing some gangster stuff in people's face, if you're not actively blasting NWA or some Biggie or whatever, you are not from where you from. You are not demonstrating the characteristics of those people because the stereotype is those people are this, and you're more like us, right? So now somebody else is telling you that you're a foreigner to your own homeland, right? So that shit is wild. All right, so I think where you from contributes heavily.
Okay. I fuck with everything you said, God. Slow. It's not slow down south though.
No, it ain't.
No, because this is what I had to learn too. The pace is different.
Correct.
You still have gangsters. You still have gangster shit going
Still got
on.
everything.
You know, but the way it's done is different. There's still some, see, like I think that from the example you was giving, like when they was talking about bro is smiling now and being more polite, like I always say it ain't about where you from, it's where you at.
Yeah, we smile here.
Yeah, because like if I'm acting like where I'm from and I'm not there, then that energy is not needed in that space.
Correct.
If I'm in that space and this space will benefit me better by being this version of myself, I'm not fronting. I'm improving. Matter of fact, I'm realizing I ain't where the fuck I'm from. If I had to be where I was from and I got all fucking day long and I gotta and all that, and that's how I gotta move, that's your environment. But once you get out of that environment and you keep carrying that attitude, the people in that environment ain't gonna fuck with you.
Correct.
Because everybody in that environment is like, we ain't on that. Like, don't nobody need to be on that type of time. Like, why you on some type of time? Why you acting like you in the streets when you're not in the streets? Why you acting like you ghetto when this ain't the hood? When this ain't the ghetto? So I understand that we said that in a couple shows ago that like it takes some time to acclimate to new environments. And it's a point in realizing that, hey, I'm not where I was. I'm in a better place now, or I'm in a place that doesn't require that. So you're able to, and it's not even relaxing. It's just putting on this accepting this new version of how I am able to function in this environment. Because you still gonna have all your spidey senses. You know, you still gonna recognize some bullshit when you smell it, when you see it. That doesn't go away. But now I may not be like, what the fuck type time you on? Right? I might just be like, okay, I see you.
I see you.
Yeah. You know, like it's just different. It's just that's all it is. And that's why that saying of it's slow down south. That's why a lot of New Yorkers came down south and got fucked up in the streets because they didn't understand okay, I see you. All right. You know, when it's so used to being aggressive.
Yeah.
When the environment is like, yeah, right now, all that shit.
Cause you're 100% right. Cause I definitely don't have a wait till after school mentality.
Yeah, and see, and that's where it's like, in the South, it's just like, okay, cool, buddy.
After
you know
school?
what I'm saying? Like, it's like, all right, you good, okay, you know, because especially if you just barking and you ain't no bite. See, and that's where like a lot of people crashed out. You know, everybody didn't take L's, you know what I'm saying? But like, if you wasn't on that, and then it was only so long before you could be like that, before you hurt somebody's family, and then they ain't having that shit.
Correct.
You know, so because a lot of times you have to remember people on their own when they not where they from. You know, so that's one of them things too, where like in the military, I love that the fact that you met people and when nobody was where they was from. Everybody was where they were at. And you understood, like one way that I was able to help the few young brothers that I was able to come across, that I was able to help, was because I was able to share with them and help them realize that this ain't where you from. You at somewhere that requires something different. So if you want to keep that same type of mindset of where you from, you ain't gonna make it. You're not gonna make it here because ain't nobody else here on that. And they already scared of this. They already scared of it.
Already woke up.
You know, so you can, and you're not gonna be able to use that to your advantage in this environment. They're not gonna have you. If 10 people scared of you, and you the only one trying to be the big badass with the big bad wolf, them pigs gonna get together and cook your ass.
Wolf roast.
Yeah. So So what our question though, God, is does one's cultural background shape their attitude? I think it does. Significantly, it shapes your attitude until you grow up, until you're able to realize that everything that I learned wasn't correct. When I was talking about earlier, like me and my dad was talking about going to therapy, I feel like, and it's more less than a feeling, but it's more so like I almost know it. I almost think that it should be religious, like where all Black men should go to therapy, because so much of our trauma is from where we from. The majority of the stuff that I would say that happened to me after I left where I was from was all more learning how to deal with stuff and handle it and be better with it. The stuff that happened where I was at was all like, fuck it, that's how it is, that's how it go. You just roll with the punches. No emotion, you don't show no emotion, you don't feel shit, fuck it. They a bitch ass nigga, they a sucker, they this, they that, whatever. It's never any of my accountability, nothing, never look at myself and be like, damn, well, where did I go wrong? Oh, correct. She crying about this, she, you know what I'm saying, he crying about, oh, he just a girl, he just, you know what I'm saying, like, nigga, stop acting like a little girl, stop being a bitch, stop doing that. It's all of this extra tough shit. And now we see women trying to do that. Now we see women trying to be all extra tough for no reason.
Yeah, man, it's disgusting out here.
Right. You know, and I realized that's a part of that trauma. You know,
we got a lot of trauma, God. Like it's so much that because it's not limited to New York or down south. Like it's the West Coast and down south. It's the West Coast and the East Coast. Like it's
American culture.
It's lack of consideration, man. Like consideration is key, and for whatever reason, everybody want to pick the lock, right? And instead of using the goddamn key, you know, I don't get it. It's just way better, man. I don't know, God.
Yeah. So definitely, you know, definitely your background does have some effect on it, but we have to realize that we ain't, you know, especially when you improving in life, like the goal is to be in better situations. You know, so I don't get how people hold on to that shit. Like, well, I'm from here. And like, you know, we had that conversation before where I'd be like, somebody asked me where I'm from. My daddy nuts. That's where I'm from.
Facts.
Okay. You know,
one thing, right, God? Like, so I look at myself in this farming thing, right? Before I actually had a name for my farm and before I called it BK Soul Farm, I was just farming. I was just providing food, clothing, and shelter, and the protection of that. It was everybody else that had negative attitudes towards me providing and me growing, right? That kept putting Brooklyn on me. Like, oh, you from Brooklyn? What you know about farming? Oh, you from Brooklyn? You don't know nothing about this. You from Brooklyn and y'all do this. It's like, do you want me to slap you with this egg? Do you want me to not give you this egg? Like, what are you trying to do exactly? So a lot of it, the maturity part and the growing up part is a lot of that is learning to ignore the dummies and to identify the dummies. And once you identify them, like put them on mute, because if you don't, like they will bring Brooklyn out of you when it's not necessary.
When it's not even necessary.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's not even necessary. Like we over here, you know, hatching eggs and shit.
Winning. Winning. Really winning.
Like you talk about you want me to you talk about, oh, I'm selling eggs like I'm dealing drugs and shit. Like, nah, bro, I'm selling eggs like a egg producer, right? Like I'm like a farmer does, right? Like everybody else that does commerce. Like why do I gotta do my business like a drug dealer? Like I'm not paying taxes. Like I am paying all my taxes. Like
That's right.
The whole point of getting into business is to be legitimate and to not hustle. Right. I want a consistent thing that's I can pattern that it was hard at first, but it got way easier once I got better at it and I found my niche. Right. I found my lane. I'm not trying to be everybody's farmer. I'm not trying to grow everything that you want me to grow. Right. I grow what I got. You either want that or you don't want that. And fortunately enough for me, I got enough people that love me, right? That want the things that I actually grow. So for all the people that's like, oh, but what about this and what about that? Man, I don't got that yet. I ain't got enough room for that. Do you want this? Oh, but you from Brooklyn, man. All right. And then I got to discern, like, I don't do business with those people, right? I tell those people, oh, man, my birds ain't lay yet. Oh, my bird's not laying. I tell them bird flu. You know what I'm saying? Because when you tell them when you tell people like, yo, you are a fucked up individual and I don't want to do business with you, because I have done that as well, right? I've been, I
think. When you give them the brutal, honest truth, you know.
Right? It now it's hitting them in their chest, and now they hearing differently and stuff, and it's like, nah, you don't mean that. You don't mean like, I'm a good person. Like, nah, man. Like, I reserve the right to do business with whoever I want to do business with, and it's not you.
Take me to Judge Judy, Punto.
Right? Like that's and that's my attitude, and it came with maturity, because had I not, I'd have been gave up farming, because so many people told me that I'm not supposed to farm because I come from a concrete jungle. We ain't got no dirt, we ain't got no trees. Like my first job was in Prospect Park, like plucking weeds out. Like my first job has led me to where I'm at right now. Like, come on, man, stop talking to me.
Right. Yeah, that's the way it goes for real. When you have something, you can do that. When you have something, you can do that, and that you value. Just because other people don't value it, and that's a big thing too. People be bringing their values from where they from, and that's why I be like, man, sometimes you just have to have some. Not all times, but sometimes sometimes you have to be a little bit patient with people, because you just like, you don't see where you at. You don't see the opportunities, the value, the resources. You don't understand. Maybe you will, maybe you won't fuck it up, but on the path that you going, you gonna fuck it up. I can tell. I ain't gonna help you fuck it up.
I'm not gonna help you fuck it up.
But if I'm gonna be judgmental, yeah, I'm gonna be that. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely gonna say you can fuck some shit up. I don't wish it on you. I just see your moves. And they don't look mature. They don't look wise. So definitely, God. So, y'all, we've been smoking on the word attitude tonight. Make sure to like and share this video. Our first question this evening was, what do you think of when you hear the word attitude? Let us know in the comment section. Our second question this evening was, how can a person's attitude affect or influence their interactions with others? Let us know in the comment section. Leave a comment, y'all. We really would like to hear. We respond to all comments too, no matter if they just, hey, how you doing? What's up? We got you. And our third question that we just got finished answering and exchanging insights on was, does one's cultural background shape their attitude? And now that final question of the evening with the guy Ali Dawu El at BK Soul Farm is attitude bad, good, or misunderstood, God?
So I'm gonna say 99.5% misunderstood. I'm gonna reserve that other 0.5 for bad because the word negative was in the definition. Like it was a whole negative definition. Like I don't like that. I really don't like that. All right. The word is totally misunderstood. They had a whole bunch of definitions that we didn't even know in the first place. And the ones that we do know, the definitions for those are vague and not real. You can't really pinpoint things, right? So yeah, I want to say 100% misunderstood, but because it has a whole negative definition, I'm saying misunderstood and bad.
Misunderstood and bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'm I'm always fucking agreeing, but I mean, when it's on point, it's on point though. When it's right, it's right. They would do the right and the wrong and shit. When it's right, it's right. It's right, it's right. When it's right, it's rain. Look, let me see. We got a comment right here. Sasha said, an attitude or having an attitude could be good, bad, or ugly, depending on the circumstances. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. You say, I agree. Attitude could be misunderstood. We do. It is a lot of times.
Yeah.
Especially based on that definition.
Yeah.
This shit is crazy.
And especially if you're just using it colloquially, you got a funky attitude, to go fix your attitude.
Yeah, go fix your funky ass attitude.
I'm saying that's not enough words.
For some people, that's enough. That's fighting words for some people.
Yeah. I'm talking about enough words to actually get corrective.
Nah. It's enough to get an ass whooping or something.
Start a fight.
But it's definitely misunderstood. But asking is it bad, good, or misunderstood, I definitely agree with the guy Ali Dawu L and BK Soul Farm that attitude is very misunderstood. And this comment right here, Miss Sasha, you did not show up to the show when we read the definition. And according to the definition, it is always negative.
Man, yo.
Attitude is always negative. According to the definition, we have put, and this is why we're saying that it's misunderstood, because we have put positive in it. We do these things culturally. We say, nigger, my nigga. We say
YN today.
We say YN, we say like even when they said that was cool, and we say cool.
Yeah.
So even according to attitude, cool was arrogant and
cocky
and disruptive or something like that, so it's one of them things that you said I was told I had an attitude on discussion via text last night. I mean, you gotta think, were you being negative? So if you were being negative, then that person may not have been calling you out your name, and that's just one of them things that you have to examine. But needless to say, we thank Miss Sasha for pulling up this evening. And who else we had in the building? Go through these comments real quick, see who else we had in the building in the comment section. Bubble and Brown pulled up. Shout out Bubble and Brown.
Peace.
But closing the show out, y'all, we had attitude is very confusing and misunderstood, and it is particularly bad because it's just so misunderstood. And it's a shame how we just have these meanings for these words and we just don't have any knowledge of how they actually do apply and we will use them and just have our own little meanings for it and stuff like that. It's crazy how we do that.
And
but
stand 10 toes down on those meanings that we have ourselves.
Right. Yeah. But definitely, we're going to keep coming to y'all every Sunday nights at 8 p.m. East Coast time, right here on Cigar Sundays Live with myself, DBCHEFTV, and BK Soul Farm. And we want to thank all of y'all for pulling up, hanging out with us this evening. And like we always say, we're not the gurus. If you find something in the ashtray, pick it up, have a smoke. If you don't, leave it for somebody else. We are always trying to self-improve and trying to better ourselves and learn these words so we can apply them correctly and have better communication amongst our peers, friends, and things that we engage and interact with. Everyone make sure to have a peaceful, positive, and productive start to your week. And we will see y'all next time right here on Cigar Sundays Live. Once again, I am Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV, always with the guy Ali Dawu L at BK Soul Farm. And we are the Cigarden Panel. Peace, God.
Peace, God.
This whole publication is all about going from nowhere to somewhere, right? Being able to stand on something so that you can travel in peace, right? So bksoulfarm.com, 1016 160 self-sustainability. Jump on the list and get yourself together, right? Because it is irresponsible to not even know what responsibility means. So get yourself together, food, clothing, and shelter, protection of that, support your interests, and live.
Exchange insights Sundays at 8 p.m. East Coast time with the Cigarden Panel. Smoking on words like two big nerds. Hosted by DBCHEFTV and BK Soul Farm at Cigar Sundays on YouTube. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so when they go live, you never miss an episode of Cigar Sundays Live. Sign up for the newsletter and shop merch and clothing at www.dbcheftv.com.